Hi guys. So in one of my last videos, I have reported that the head of the Icelandic Met Office disagrees with some of the scientists that are saying there is a risk that something might happen to Reykjavik, some lava flows might happen to Reykjavik, and that the volcanic system that is near Reykjavik is waking up, because she's basically thinking these are just earthquakes that are related to the North Atlantic Ridge, two tectonic plates that are pulling away from each other there. Hi, Rudi, are you assisting me? Thank you for that. But now we have a statement of the Minister of Infrastructure. His name is Sigurdur Ingi Jóhannsson, and he seems to listen to what Thorvaldur Thorvaldsson has to say, because he thinks his suggestions should be taken seriously. So what is he saying? He thinks that what Thorvaldur in particular is saying about a possible lava eruption damage near the capital area, that what he's saying should be taken seriously. And he says we have good scientists in this field, and they have been pointing out that a giant has been sleeping underneath the Reykjanes Peninsula for 800 years and has possibly woken up. And you know, all the eruptions, Fagradalsfjall, Grindavik, there's earthquakes rumbling all over the peninsula. So it's not isolated to only one spot. So he says it could take some time, and there are different eruption scenarios involved, but he says it needs to be taken seriously. And he particularly is referring to what Thorvaldur Thorvaldsson, a volcanologist, has said. And this volcanologist believes that there are indication that the volcanic system on the Reykjanes Peninsula, which extends all the way to the capital area, may be really rumbling and we'll see eruptions, earthquakes, lava flows, right? What he says is they have experimented with defenses already when the Fagradalsfjall eruptions happened. So that was happening before everything happened at Grindavik, and before they started to build the defense walls at Swartsengi and Grindavik. So he says it's therefore important that we consider whether it needs to be done further, whether they need to build further defense walls in other areas. And they have been considering building defense walls around other power plants that are closer to Reykjavik, and critical infrastructure that serves Reykjavik, and also the city of Reykjavik itself. And as we just heard in my last video, the lava flow can flow over water pipes, heat pipes, electricity, and that has happened in Grindavik. And imagine a capital area with like 250,000 people is out of power, out of heat, out of everything. They just had a power outage last week for 20 minutes, and it was a completely chaos. It was snowstorm. Traffic lights didn't work, there were accidents, traffic congestions. But the most important thing is, how do you get heat to the homes? Because they don't have a backup system with gas or diesel or anything. They're being served by the geothermal plants. And of course, where does the heat coming from? Where is it coming from? It comes from underground, from the volcanic activity. That's why these power plants are in areas where there is a lot of this activity, because they're sourcing the heat, and that's why of course the infrastructure is highly at risk. It is a difficult task that they have. It puts overall, because Thorvaldur Thorvaldsson has said don't build further east, so this puts people in a very difficult position regarding the expansion of the capital area. And what the minister says, he says, I think it's at least obvious that we need to think about this and take these suggestions seriously. And also they give us a theoretical view, so at what is possible, what could happen to the peninsula, and it lifts a little bit the uncertainty that we live in, because basically we don't know what nature will do. This is really concerning, guys. I really don't like what I hear. Since we've had these larger earthquakes in the Bláfjöll area, where there we have volcanic activity and where we have seen the lava flows in the past that have reached the capital area. So there is this ski resort and some other tourist attractions. So these structures are all under threat. So they have released some news today saying that their structures are all insured against disasters. Well, I hope that this is true. They're saying we are used to the earthquakes here, and this is nothing new, and it has been here for as long as we can remember. And the manager of the ski areas says, his name is Magnus Arnarsson. He says, we're not too worried about this. I am, and Thorvaldur Thorvaldsson is as well. So these this earthquake swarm has started last weekend in a short distance southeast of Heidmark on Friday, and then they have increased in magnitude over the weekend. And this, as Thorvaldur says, may indicate the accumulation of magma at a considerable depth. So these earthquakes could be the sign of a buildup of tension at the bottom of the Earth's crust. But of course, they could also indicate the accumulation of magma underneath that area. And that's why Thorvaldur keeps saying we need to prepare for further activity in this area as well. Although he doesn't think that there will be eruption anytime soon. He thinks there's time. But he says the Bláfjöll area is close to Reykjavik. They are worried about Reykjavik in the event of an eruption. There is way more at stake with the city of Reykjavik than what's at stake in the Bláfjöll ski area. And the problem is the eruptions there take place in a mountain range, so it starts flowing downwards. So a possible route from there is always downwards, and that's towards Reykjavik. It is problematic for that area because there has been a lot of development in Bláfjöll in the last few seasons, and there have been big investments have been made in the last 2 years. So that's why they're saying the structures in the area are secured, and we have familiarized ourselves with the issues at the contingency fund, and the structures are covered there. So yeah, I don't worry that much about the structures, but the tourists are the problem, right? So they're basically saying right now there are no special measures that will be taken regarding visitors to the Bláfjöll area in case of an eruption. The measurements are basically the same as when they have bad weather. Then they try not to allow the public into the area when bad weather is in the forecast. I don't know, it sounds a little bit similar than the Blue Lagoon, but of course it is a problem if the Reykjanes Peninsula has all these tourist attractions. Like, that ski area is basically belongs to Reykjavik. It's all the people in Reykjavik go there, but also the tourists. There's caves that people look at, so there's a lot of development, same like the Blue Lagoon. So yeah, we will have to see how this plays out in the future. I just wanted to give you this update, guys. And as always, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for the supers. And it would be awesome if you could give this video a like to support my channel a little bit. Thank you so much, guys. Check out the 2 videos here in the end screen, and I hope to see you very soon in one of these videos. Bye-bye.